right, Battletech fans, here we are. We're in Portland, Oregon, the season that was never supposed to happen, Daddy. It's Season 3, and it's about to go down tomorrow right here in the Casa de Rex. Now, if you don't know this fella, we go back like 4 flats on a Cadillac, folks. We've known each other since we were 12 years old. I was 12 years old, you were 11 years old, and we've been playing Battletech. We've gone back and forth. We've played all different kinds of games, but we were just talking about this in the car. We've known each other for about 30 years now, right? We're both...
Yeah, in 2 years it'll be 30 years.
I'm pushing 40, and and you're right behind me. So
yeah, it's 364 days, one day younger.
Yeah, there's always 1 day per year where you are the same age as I am.
That's
so,
right.
All right. So I'm pretty sure the viewer at home can kind of surmise, put this one together themselves. But you got into BattleTech because I got into BattleTech. I think it was me first, wasn't it?
You got into BattleTech and I came with Magic, and then we were like, I'll play Magic if you play BattleTech.
Right.
So it's like, I'll play BattleTech then, and then we play BattleTech, and then we play Magic, and we just flip-flop back and forth. And then hearing that we had our friends who would play with us too, we'd play both. And so Friday nights was Magic, and then the next day, Saturday, I'd sometimes come over and hang out with you.
Yeah.
And the next day, we'd walk to the Burger King and play BattleTech in Burger King.
Oh, God, I forgot all about the Burger King.
Harassed by customers and employees the same, so...
We'd always sit in there with those Whoppers and just be rolling dice and shooting things and, left and right and all that kind of stuff. And what brought us together on that particular battlefield was Marcos. Right. And the viewers at home, they may not know, we do the tournament every year. It's the Marcos Tijerina Invitational. It's the Yule Duel. Everybody wants to win all the marbles at this game. And, it's X amount of people go into that game, but only one comes out. And we've done 8 of them so far. But we met him, God, was it was junior high, wasn't it?
High school, I think.
No,
might have been the end of junior high.
Yeah, because we were at Montgomery,
that's right.
And all that, and that's where we met him. And he had come to me and had said, "Hey, would you like to try this out?" And I had heard of it, because of Mech Warrior 2. But the thing is you and I both know this story. I won't go into terrible detail on it, but I had been introduced to the game by somebody else by the name of Joe. And it was very much too soon. And I was kind of like,
He's not a good teacher.
Well, we were teenagers, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt there. But as a teenager, it was very much kind of like, I shrunk away from it. But Marcos, he was like, no, it'll be cool. Don't worry about it. You'll come to my garage. I live in Navy housing. We'll have a good time. It'll be cool. Oh, yeah. And I went over there. I played with him and his little brother, and the rest is history. Yeah. And so here we are. I've been dying to have you on this show because, we've known each other for so long and we've got so many memories between us. We've got so many battles under our belts and we've got so many different things we bring to the table. And you, I have to say, are unlike any other player that I've ever had on the show because most folks, they come on this show and they go, well, I know Tuck from these videos and I've seen his tactics and I know this is what he likes to do or this is the kind of, forces he likes to run, but nobody has ever sat down at this table with me and known me on a deep, personal level and gone I know what ticks this guy off or I know what makes this guy tick and I know which way he wants to go and which way he's going to zig when he says he's going to zag. Nobody's ever had that kind of perspective before, so you've got that. So
those games we had at Game Empire that would last 5-6 hours. We were playing with 8 other people. You remember?
Oh God, yeah.
It wasn't Don. That was the Magic card guy. What was the?
It was Tom and Nadine.
That's right.
I
remember that. And
was the name of that?
The couple that ran the old. As the smaller the mech, the higher the gunnery piloting, and then the bigger the mech, the less.
Yeah.
We'd have really weird ones like Races and King of the Hill. And
oh sure, all kinds of wild stuff.
Very fun stuff. And you come up with some really good stuff now too.
Well, thank you. I like to think I took that experience and kind of morphed it into what I do now. But that was definitely an invaluable experience. And so that leads me into my first question. We've told the backstory. We've kind of gone there, but. You've chosen your force for tomorrow. I put this one together because, you don't play that often.
I don't.
And you chose the King Crab force.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one you want. You want them two, AC-20s. And I said, okay, I'll take the Atlas force. That's cool in the gang. What made you pick that one?
Well, I'm a Cancer.
Okay, same, Crab, so that's fair.
And also, I know how much you like the Atlas all the way from back in the day. It's an iconic mech. It's on so many of the books. You see the Atlas coming over the hill. It's the guy's all right, I'm changing into my brown pants. So I'm just you know what? I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I will represent Crab Gang on the battlefield and in life. So.
And the Atlas that I have with me up here is painted in the Tracksuit Mafia colors, House Davian Brigade of Guards. It's got the blue suit with the pinstripes down the side of it. And I figured, well, okay. I thought to myself, after you picked that, what better thing to take out, in the first game of Season 3. So you know what you've got, and you know what you're looking at, you know what I've got, you know what I'm looking at. How do you feel like you're going to do? Be honest.
I don't know. It feels pretty level. I think it's going to have to see. Typically how it goes in any other game, where once the first player is out. So once the first mech goes down, I think that will change it, because last time it's like, if I can get your Centurion down, I'll be able to come through. But I wasn't able to get your Centurion down, and you got me from range for that. And I feel like this one I have enough of a balance of mid and long range where that's not going to be an issue for me.
I'm amazed you remembered all that. The game he's referencing happened like 2 years ago, and we were just playing, to kind of shake the ring rust off a little bit. So the fact that you remember that is frankly pretty amazing.
I mean, I remember the game with the Mad Dog where you hit me for 3 piling rolls, and I made all 3, and it was like kind of like the Simpsons episode where he's Mr. Plow and his car's falling off the cliff, and he turns the radio dial over, and then he leaves. And it was kind of like, I made 3 piloting rolls in a row from taking massive damage from 2 different mechs, and I survived it too. There was no ammo explosion, no engine hits. It was pretty impressive, I want to say, and that was who knows how long ago.
So my next, it's an interesting point you make there, and so I got to ask you this question. We were just talking in the car a little bit ago about how the last time you played was a couple years back. You don't really play too terribly much. Do you think the fact that, I'm playing, twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, I'm getting those pickup games in, I'm hitting, somewhere in the range of 100 to 110 games a year. Do you think that experience is going to translate onto the battlefield, and you're going to be kind of behind the 8 ball there?
No. I think I played enough back in the day that I have the experience. You have the practice, which necessarily, but also I come in as kind of like an ace, because you don't know how I play anymore. I played a bunch of other different games. I play strategy games, I play platformers, I play Magic, which is like strategizing, like the political aspect's taken out because it's just me and you, and it's just like, well, we're just going to talk shit the entire time. So,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's like, is your hand coming off that, or are you still thinking about it? I can psych you out a little better instead of somebody who doesn't know you as well, or this and that, and be like, okay. And so, like, come on, for hope for gods, you can do it. And be like, okay. And so you're doing that, somebody might, shake the map a little, who knows, But I remember your old tricks. So.
See, it's an interesting point you make, because you're right. Like, I haven't played against you since the last time I was up here in Portland, and in that particular game, that was, I think, we just hung out for a couple hours, we got the one in, and it was, quick and dirty, one and done, and then I had to hit the road.
Well, we got to play a game of Magic, though, just like old times.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna get all that in, Daddy. But you make an interesting point, and you are absolutely right. I haven't really sat down and played, one-on-one against you a lot of times. And you were just saying in the car a little while ago, how you get better is you play against people that are kind of outside of your wheelhouse, folks that may be better than you or that you don't get to play often, and you learn how people run in the meta that you play in.
Right.
And you're used to playing against this guy, you're used to playing against that guy, and you know what their tactics are. Right. So when you sit down across from them,
1, 2, 3 times a week, and then you bring somebody who you play once every 6 weeks or so like that, they come in and they shake it up for everybody there, because we're used to who we already play with.
Sure.
And so it's just like, oh, you brought a character we don't recognize, and so it's like, yeah, we have to, encompass for that. And so with this in BattleTech, it's like kind of like you can't really bring anything new except for your tactics.
Sure.
So the weaponry you recognize, the Gauss, PDCs, missiles, lasers, like there's nothing like, oh, surprise, I have this thing you've never heard of. Like, no, that just doesn't happen.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, well, recognizing what the mechs are is like, oh, I have the information. I now know which one to stay away from and which one to get close to or try to, flank or creep up on, etc. And formulate it from there for the most part.
And it's interesting you mention that, because you chose the old school cool edition here. You chose all 30-25 forces, and as you said previously just a moment ago, you remember all my old tactics, you remember all my old tricks, you remember that 30-25 was my jam. And folks, if you don't know this, I feel like I aged in reverse. When I was a kid, a teenager, I was all about 30-25, and it's all the older that I've got, the more looser I played it, where I want to play Clan, I want to play Jihad, I want to play Dark Age, I want to play Invasion Era, whatever. But so you've brought me back home. This is the alma mater for me. Do you feel like that's going to be an outlier for you?
No, I like the bare bones feel.
He's
the
confident.
Rustic, rusty skull painted, like lit chick on a bikini on an atom bomb kind of fighter jet, sort of the feel that I have from 3025. And then they got older, it's like sleek. It's like, oh, I have a coupe. I was like, that's not cool. An old Mustang is fucking cool. Like,
right.
Like 1970s Chevy truck, that's cool. You and your fucking Tesla here, like, get out of here. Whatever. It's like my Chevy will hit your Tesla and rip it in two and keep going. All right, so it's kind of how it feels like. So we're two, what is it? 350 tons of steel, Myanmar, and ammunition just running at each other.
Oh, sure.
And we're playing chicken. See who's gonna
flinch.
Step out of it. Yeah. And so I feel like you almost have a brawl aspect to the old tech like this. So
it does definitely have that kind of Firefly meets Mad Max meets Robot Jocks with a little touch of OT Star Wars, kind of peppered on there to taste. With your aerospace assets and your jump ships and your drop ships and things like that. But we're going mech hunting, and you just mentioned a moment ago that you've played all kinds of other different games. You've played Magic the Gathering. You've played a myriad of other things while you're here in Portland. Because believe it or not, folks, the gaming scene here in Portland is a rockin' scene. I've been to all the gaming stores. They've taken me around today, and I've seen all the different places. And man, this place has some hot stores. It's great. If you're looking to get a game in and you're anywhere in the Oregon area that you feel like you can get up here, get up here. Because they've got, I can count at least 4 that we went to today. So you've played all these other games. Do you feel like the strategy that you bring to the table from those games is going to translate into this, and it's going to bring you kind of an advantage that I won't have? Because you know me, BattleTech is my one-armed man. I don't really do anything else.
Yeah, and so for you, it's going to be like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
Why are you waiting? It's like are you baiting? Are you hammer and anviling? Are you pincher attacking with your crab lance here? So yeah, I think you are not ready for me with the silly that I'm about to bring. So
there is a lot of confidence just radiating off of you. You could stick a fork in it and it would stand straight up. How do you think that terrain is going to factor in to this game? Because I'm not going to set this up. You're not going to set this up. This is going to be set up by a disinterested third party. Yeah. Are you worried at all that I'll be able to exploit some kind of terrain, or I'll know more what I'm doing with it than you will, and I'll be able to get one over on you and kind of maybe even those odds?
I'll say that you will have an advantage with having played on these maps multiple times, I think. But at the same time, we did play a lot back in the day. And it's kind of like riding a bike. I'm pretty sure after the first, half dozen turns or so, I will be back in the saddle, so to say.
And
I remember stuff pretty well, as you...
You do have something going for you in that particular arena. We're not doing a city fight. Yeah. And the viewers at home, they know I'm the king of the concrete jungle, baby. I'm the stalking tiger. I'm the harbinger of boom when it comes to the city. But out in the open, things are different. Things can get dodgy. Things can get dicey. You don't know how anything's going to go. And you can't use the terrain the same way that you use it in the city, so things are a lot different. I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what our cameraman puts together for that, because I've dealt with all different kinds of terrain, and you watch the show long enough, you'll know there's no board that's ever the same. Everything is always different every single time you come into it. And to me, when that terrain is getting set up and I'm watching it and things are starting to stack up, I'm already, the wheels are already cranking in my mind, and I'm thinking, I want to set up a castle defense here, or I want to take, where's the skirmish line? Where am I going to put that in my mind? And where do I want to fortify, that kind of thing. And so that's why I ask you, and I don't know if it's necessarily going to be an advantage that I play on this map a lot, because the terrain is going to be, nobody knows what that's going to be. But, so I'll give you my personal opinion here. I think that I'm a pretty good negotiator of terrain. I think when it comes to how to use it for cover, how to get the most defensive modifiers out of it, and how to, either bottleneck or trap my opponent in certain situations where they can't get out of it is I wouldn't call it top notch, but I would say I'm above average. I don't want to get a big head. I don't want to.
You've got that comes with the practice that you get to play as often as you do,
right?
Comparatively, So
I think I see. I never go into these games thinking that I'm just going to lay the boots to somebody.
Well,
I never walk into these situations.
The dice make sure of it. Sometimes it's just like.
And some days you could try your best and have your best tactics on lock, and you're just trying to mitigate everything. And those dice, they come back and stab you in the back.
Oh yeah.
And so I never go into these thinking I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But I think, this is just my personal opinion, I'm throwing this out here, I think that I can give you a run for your money.
Okay, I think if you win, that you will have to earn the win.
But I see, you're already in my head. That's good. That's good for you, because I was just about to go there. I was just about to say, if I was able to pull victory from the jaws of defeat here, that you would have to make me pay in blood and sweat and tears and steel.
To the morgue, and the other one was going to the hospital.
For every inch of that battlefield. So I'm looking very forward to it.
Yeah. This will be that Ed 209 RoboCop fight. I was like, well, you're alive. But, damn.
Speaking of Ed 209, if you haven't seen it already, folks, Death Ray Designs has put out this fabulous miniature. It's the Battlebound logo made into an actual playable miniature that you can use right here on your own BattleTech battlefields. And if you order now, you can get a special discount, so as I'm aware, they've taken a little bit off of there. It's my gift to you. It's a new year. Let's start things off right. And if you want a Solaris 7 dueling mech, this one's got you covered. So check it out. Hit up Fortress Miniatures and Games and look for the Solar Shift miniatures for the Death Ray Designs team. They put out some fabulous stuff. Not just my stuff. They put out fabulous stuff all the time for all different kinds of games. Whether that's Battletech, whether that's 40K, you name it, they've probably put something out for it. So, Fortress Miniatures and Games. And, of course, I couldn't be, having a video if I didn't talk about Derek King over at Ares Miniatures and Games. He always gives me the hookup. He's always got the miniatures. If you can't find it anywhere else and you need it tomorrow, you talk to that guy and he will bend over backwards. He will try to find some way to get you taken care of. However, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, Rex. I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm very much looking forward to it, brother.
Yeah, same.
Let's get it on.
Be sure to smash our like button and subscribe to our channel.
Crowdfunding is when lots of people give you small amounts of money to help your passion project come to life.